Let's talk about why other plumbers and people who you know don't really send you jobs, innit? Because this is an interesting topic, yeah, which I want to talk about because I've sent a few of my friends who are plumbers, electricians, jobs, and sometimes they don't send me some back. And I think to myself, what the fuck did I do to you? I've paid you when you wanted. I always pay people up front. I even pay people before we even start working. That's my thing with my friends because I don't want you to feel like you can't ask me for money or ask me for the money while the job's done. I know it's a difficult conversation to have with people, so let's get it out of the way from the beginning. I pay people straight away. I pay them more or I pay them what they want. I don't barter with them when it comes to prices. So if my mate said to me, I want £600 to work the night, I'd give him £600. I wouldn't give him 550. I'd give him 600, right? Because that's what he asked for. And I expect the work to be done. That's it. That's the only deal with the money. But my problem is that I bring you on work, you have work, you don't bring me. You might say to yourself, oh, but you're too expensive and you won't work in these areas. Did I say that to you when we first started? I just gave you the jobs which I have, which I couldn't do, or which I found difficult and I needed a hand on. But it brings me to the point of like, why are we in competition with each other when there's loads of fucking jobs? It's probably because you want to better yourself and you don't understand that everyone must help to build, yeah? To build my company to where it is to the point today is that I've had to ask my friends to help me with certain things. And I have no shame in saying that. Again, I can't do loads of work on my own. I can do a certain amount, but it comes to a point where I have to share the load. If you share the load, you get more work done. You still get these things done. You don't get the massive percentage of the job. It isn't about the money. It's about feeding the customers' habits, yeah? The customers want a toilet, they want a basin done, they want a bathroom done. They've also got another property, but they want this and that done, this and that, right? So I can be in one place, I can't be in two places at once. What I can do is I can send someone who definitely is a good representation of myself, has a good standard of work, and is able to do what you've asked them to do, right? That's it. That's all it is. So at times I've always wondered, and I've said it to other people within my trade, especially the people who I really work with, yeah, my family members. I said, how do you deal with it when people don't send you jobs but you send them jobs? I said, boy, that's just how it is, you know, with some people, you know. They have this kind of like oblivious mindset to it. And I said, yeah, but don't you find that annoying? Or why is it we can't talk about that? Because if you bring that up with someone, maybe they might say, oh, sorry, I didn't notice. Or, you know, like you're a bit expensive and I don't have customers what are like that. Okay, cool, no problem. But let's have the conversation out because I was thinking it for some time now, you know, like I specifically try to do certain jobs in certain areas because I know them customers will pay the premium rate. People who live in different places are not paying the premium rate. I have an idea in my head that I didn't want to go around doing every single job because it's time consuming. I don't have the time. Yeah, if I had the time I would do it, but I don't. So I choose to do certain jobs which I know are going to pay well, which I know are not going to be astronomical of my time. So time is money. You know, I value these things a lot when it comes to business, but I also value being open and being transparent with people. So I'd be very transparent with my friends by telling them or saying to them, how much would you like for this job? I will give you £600 for this job, right? I need it completed. That's it. I won't barter with them about the price because their price is their price. And I know that it's business at the end of the day. And when you need people, you pay for what you need. And that's my kind of like motto towards work when I look at it for myself, but also others who I'm asking to help. My point is that why can we not talk about why you don't share these jobs, or why can we not get to the point where you can get comfortable with sharing these jobs with me because we all need help. Doesn't matter what time it is. It doesn't matter that it looks like I'm doing better than you. Looks can be a facade. We all know that in business. There are loads of people that drive around in nice flashy motors, but they don't really make any profit. They rent some things. It's a facade to others. Business is an illusion. You never know how much is really in the kitty. You don't know if they're struggling to pay you, or you don't have an understanding because you don't have them conversations with them. And someone can say it's a little bit fault of my own because I choose to go for higher end jobs and specific areas as well. But it becomes a bit deeper than that because me and these people are friends, yeah? So I would call them, but they would always tell me that they're busy. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. No problem, you're busy. What, you can't talk now? Yeah, no, I'll just give you a call back later and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And I guess maybe it's people's ways of weaning themselves away from you or being more selfish so they can start their own client list or build it up in a way. Understandable, cool. Sometimes when you don't communicate with each other, yeah, you don't know what page that person is on financially and they don't know what page you're on in your next 2-3 moves when it comes to your business. That could possibly be the situation, but again, I've said to you guys that me and these people are friends. We're not just like, I don't just chat to them when I feel like it. I'll chat to them on a regular, whether we're not doing work or doing work. But you have more of a connection when you do work with people frequently, right? And I will say that because when I was on frequent jobs with these people, I'm thinking about it like a business. So I'm looking at it saying, all right, well, some of the money what I give you, if we invest and do this, this and this, we can get this. Yeah, we could do. But they're not really on it because I can hear their reply, which is okay because, you know, like you might have other ideas for your money. I shouldn't try and plan your money out for you, but I'll give people an option. Be like, look, come, if we do this together, we can create this. But I understand my vision and his vision isn't the same. And we're two separate different entities trying to bring things together. But this whole not sharing jobs and not making it like something that we have been doing is a you thing, not me. Because if I get a project, even tomorrow, even for those people who have not called me and not been in contact with me and not brought me on jobs in, I would say, this is going on a couple of years now, I would still bring them. Because I hold nothing against you as a person, you know. I don't dislike you. I know that you've got to get on with what you get on with. But I know that there's been more on your plate than what you can handle. And who you chose to go to was a personal choice. Just because of it's now, if I've given you 600, you start giving me that 400 back. Next time you see me another, you give me another 400. And it starts to look at a bit of pocket watching. And that's what I think it boils down to, is the pocket watching between people, because we look at it as rivalry instead of like, he's doing well, so if I'm doing well, I can help this person get back up to a certain point. But the rivalry between people is, it just doesn't need to be there, innit? And I say it doesn't need to be there because I first started working with my uncle, yeah, and my uncle's always sent me jobs, always sent me to do stuff and stuff like that, because we have a family business, which is understandable, and I take full responsibility for my role inside there as well as my own company, because my uncle is the person who got me into plumbing. And when I have conversations with him and sit down and I say, why is it that people do that? And really, I know he don't want to tell me it's rivalry and that those people see you as that and it's pocket watching, but that's what it is. It's nothing else. But I wish it wasn't that, because I honestly want the best for them, and the best for them might just be just doing your own thing. It is true. But I have to come to acceptance to know that it isn't always like that between us. And I try to show that by, when I do get a job, call them straight away. Yo, what's up? You want to do this job? I got this job on in Islington, or I got this job in Camden, or I got this job in Kensington. So the minute I tell you where it is, yeah, the people who I'm talking about, they know the vibe. They know they're going to get paid well. They know that, yeah, it might be a bit of travelling, but it's going to be a decent job. It's going to be a job where you're going to get paid well. We're not going to be stressed out because I know that you can do this section and I'll do this section. When we work together, we've always completed every single project down to a T and had no problems with clients, with work quality, and with standards. So it's a whoop-de-doo. But sometimes some of us have to be the bigger man to be like, you know what? Why don't we work together anymore? And it's a conversation which I'm willing to have with my friends because I have a friendship with them first. But our business is separate. But it's not a rivalry. Just because I have a plumbing company and you have a plumbing company doesn't mean that we can't work together. But I guess some people want to be the man or be the person for themselves, which is understandable, you know. I wanted to be that person, so that's why I got a business, that's why I registered it, that's why I make an impact, and that's why I keep showing up, because that's what I want to do. I don't want to do anything else. And I understand sometimes when you get into that rhythmic mode of business, your head's in the clouds. Your head's not thinking about how other people feel or understanding that other people have helped you on your journey. It's not to say you're not thankful. You might just be oblivious. You might just be behaving like a bimbo. I don't know. But I think sometimes they do that, behave oblivious and act like a bimbo. But that's their thing, innit? Like, that's not my thing. Like, you do what you want to do, innit? But it doesn't make me judge them or say to them, I don't want to be friends with you because you acted like this or you didn't bring me. You know, like, I know that some men don't have the capability to bring others. I know that some men that think that it's just me on the main stage. You do that, innit? Because when the flack runs and stuff like that, it would be hard for you to turn to people who are reliable and who have got your back. But that's a road and a river you have to cross when you come to it. But business doesn't have to be like that, you know? That's not how big companies get along. They talk to each other, they work together. You know, if there's a project which you need to do which is beyond you, my friend, yeah, you need to get help. And your help is at best from your friends and people that know you, really fuck with your business anyway. I fuck with all my mates' businesses and I try to share them on my platform because I have a bigger platform than them, you know. And even when I talk about them now, I don't expect them to be annoyed about it or anything. This is true facts, you know, like, but hopefully, I don't care if they see this video, but it just makes it easier for us to be able to talk because they're my guys, they're my friends, and this is business, but this is reality. So reality tells me that, you know, like, you're doing your own thing, which is not a problem, but I will always reach out, you know, because that's what type of person I am. I don't expect other people to have my ways in life or ways about seeing things. I expect people to do things of their own accord. And, you know, like, I don't judge any of those people. They've got lives, they've got responsibilities. We all have. But I hold a little bit of loyalty towards those people than others because we've been through stuff, you know. I've paid you out of my own account. I've paid you before I paid myself. I've understood that that's the way I've moved. And I don't regret that at any point. I'd never regret that. You know, I know that you helped at times and you need that. But let's not make it a rivalry because rivalries don't make sense. Do you get it? Like, I'm only in competition with myself. I'm not in competition with other business people. I couldn't care if people have got a lot more people working for them than I have. At the end of the day, I'm going at a steady pace, which is comfortable for myself. But I realise that the community makes us, yeah? The community being the people around you. And I never put that to bed. I just wanted to say it, that it's just weird sometimes that we can't talk about these things as tradespeople because people are touchy, man. People might say, oh, but I did help, I did do this, and I shouted you. Brother, big man, I just make posts and just tell the reality, innit? I want to know what you guys think. Have any of you guys come across these situations within the construction trade as rivalry, as people feeling a little bit salty, or people just not being receptive and building themselves off of you and kind of moving away? I don't feel that none of my friends have built themselves off of me and moved away. They were all tradespeople before me. Whether they started to do business in the same way as I done, is not a copying thing, because everybody does business, yeah? It's just something which I've realised, which I wanted to have a conversation with you guys, because I speak about reality stuff which really does happen within business. I've been running a business for years, so I've seen these things. I just didn't talk about it before. Not because it would hurt my friends' feelings, you know, that they shouldn't care, because they know me personally. I just speak the words which come out of my mouth, which are reality, which are the truth. I don't have time to sugarcoat up. But I want to know what you think. Make sure you like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next upload.